This is page 2 for the free response chapter 1 test, and it is the practice test. So number 15 asks us to write an expression that represents the quotient of a number. Now quotient, that's the key word. Again, we're always looking for those key words in these problems. Quotient means to divide. Instead of using a division sign like this, we're going to use a fraction bar. And when we read the word quotient, the next term that they talk about, the number, goes on top. So you can pick any number. I'm going to use n this time. N is on top, and then the number that they talk about next after the word and goes on the bottom. So n divided by 34. Another way to write that would be n divided by 34 like this, but the way that we're going to get in the habit of doing it is using the fraction form, because this is the way we show division when we are solving equations like the one below. Here we're asked, is a equal to 14? So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute. Put 14 in place of a. See if it really is equal to 11. Well, when we put 14 in place of a, we subtract 3 from that, we do get 11. And 11 does equal 11, so yes, we would say that is a true solution. Here they're saying, is r a solution of this? Well, let's go ahead and substitute it in. So we're just rewriting the 74 with the equal sign. The 6 right next to the r means to multiply, so we're multiplying by 12 because that's what we're saying r is, so we're substituting there. And when I multiply the 6 and the 12, I remember from way back when, I end up with 72 as an answer, and those are not equal, so no, that is not the solution. Here they're asking us to solve, and so when we solve, we want to isolate the variable. So we keep the variable by itself, so we're going to go ahead and move this 52 to the right-hand side. When we do that subtraction, 9 minus 2 gives me 7, and 8 minus 5 gives me 3. So 37 is what B is. During a two-week training, Joey ran 14 miles. So that's an important thing, so we're going to underline that. And then during the first week, he ran 14 miles, and then altogether he ran 32 miles. It says altogether there, so this means a total. So total means that they added some numbers together. And so we go ahead and read further. It says, write an equation containing an addition sign to help you find the number of miles he ran that second week. And so basically it looks like this. Week 1 plus week 2 equals the 32 miles. And so what we know is it says Joey ran 14 miles during the first week. So 14 goes in place of week 1. We don't know what week 2 is. That's the unknown. So let's go ahead and put a r in place of week 2, just a different variable. You could use any variable there. And then equals 32. So there is an equation. So that's one thing we're supposed to do. The next thing is to go ahead and solve. And so we go ahead and subtract the 14 from both sides. Got to borrow a little bit here. And we go ahead and do the subtraction from this point, and we end up with 18. So 18 miles is how far Joey ran that second week. Here we're just supposed to solve an equation, and notice how it's a minus 13 from W. So in order to solve, we just do an opposite operation. So I'm going to go ahead and add 13 to both sides. And when I do that, I have to carry a 1, and that gives me 60. So 60 would be the value of W. Here it says Carla has 89 baseball cards left. Okay, so let's underline that. 89 baseball cards. We don't care about whether they're baseball or football. It doesn't matter about that. So 89 cards left. After giving away 27. Giveaway means they subtracted. So we're going to end up setting up a subtraction problem here. And so it even says that, write an equation containing subtraction to help find out how many cards did Carla have before she gave some away. So before she gave some away. So she had more before she gave some away. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got the total amount, the original, we'll say, original amount of cards. And then she gave away 27. So it's a minus 27. So we had this original amount, and then she took 27 away from that amount, and the total left was 89. So original amount, we need a variable to represent that phrase. And so I'm going to use x this time. X minus 27 equals 89. And So I go ahead and add the 27 to both sides. I add 27 to what was left over after I had subtracted that from the original amount, and I end up having to carry a little bit. So this makes a 16. Carry a 1, that makes 10 plus 1 makes 116. So x equals 116 cards. Looking at our next problem, it says that we're just supposed to solve an equation, so I'm going to divide by 9. Now, one of my divisibility rules is if I add the digits, 1, 5, and 3 makes 9. 9 goes into 9, so I know 9 goes into 153. So it's always something to think about as you're doing the problem. 9 goes into 15 one time, and that leaves me with 6 left over. 9 goes into 63 7 times, so 17 is the solution. Rachel bought a new bicycle for $351, so that's a total. She spent that amount, and so this is a total, so I know that is the final amount. If she saved $39 toward the cost of the bicycle each week, this tells us that we're multiplying. Each week means you're going to end up multiplying the weeks by 39, and so it's going to be 39W. So number of weeks, we don't know, times by 39 is going to end up equaling 351. And that's going to give us what we want. How many weeks? How many weeks is the question, so that's why our variable is that, W there. And so all you have to do is divide by 39. Now when I look at that, I see, okay, I've got the 9 times what makes a 1 at the end? Well, 9 times 9 makes a 1 at the end, so I'm going to try 9. And so when I do that, that makes 81. And I go ahead and multiply this. 3 and 9 makes 27 plus 8. And that gives me the 35 when I go ahead and add that. So 27 plus 8 does make 35. So that does work out. So that was our answer. So W equals 9 weeks. And our next one here, it says that we have to solve an equation, d divided by 14 equals 8. Well, all you're going to do is an opposite operation, times by 14. So off to the side, we can do 14 times by 8. See what we get. This makes 32. And 8 and 1 make 8, or plus 3 makes 11. So 112 is the answer there. Here it says Ted has $15. Ted has 1/7 the amount of money that Sue has. Well, we know Ted has 15. We just don't know how much Sue has, but we know that Ted's amount is 1/7 the amount of Sue's. When they talk about a fraction and then they use this word of, this tells me I'm going to end up multiplying. I'm going to multiply there. And so they're asking, how much money does Sue have? That's the unknown. So let's do this. 1/7 times by Sue's amount, S this time, equals 15. So 1/7 times Sue's amount is going to equal 15. To find out how much Sue had, I've got to multiply by that reciprocal. So multiply by 7. The 7's will cross cancel. Go ahead and multiply 7 and 15. I end up with $105. That is our answer. Well, those are the problems that you will see on this week's test. Good luck.